They call gold and silver God's money. So if you're thinking of buying precious metals or switching your 401k to gold without a penalty, head on over to thegoldshow.com now. The link is in the description below.
Hello and welcome. Today we've got Eddie Violette, and we are going to be discussing therapies, counseling for those in the Great Awakening who are, going through division with their families, and they need someone who's awake that can help them break those barriers of mental challenges. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and Eddie can agree to keep our words clean due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Eddie, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Hi, Nick. Nice to be here. The usual stuff. To be honest, doing a lot of therapy work, got a lot of people coming to me who are feeling that they don't belong. A lot of feelings that their friends have all left them. They don't know where to go, what to do, what's coming next. Although you and I both know we can't know for 100% what's coming next, but we have a big idea. And how we break that down to them in a small sense to give them support. Let them know that they're not alone. I've been doing a lot of that at the moment.
It really helps when a person like you, who's a therapist, is fully awake. You've heard everything from Quano 7, Gene Decode, and, you're open to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And it's really important because at this stage, for those who are awake, who seek mental help, where they go to the NHS and they assign them to a therapist, it's very difficult because they are the therapists within the matrix, where they can give you some therapy, but then they turn to the big pharma medication. Yeah. But with you, you're outside of the matrix and you're completely awake to, I want to be careful with my words, but you're very aware of medications that are not good for us. And it's not really good for a long-term solution. And I think, I want to, if you could give us a breakdown of your strategy with how you would, give that therapy to people, how you would offer it to them, considering all of this.
Yeah. Originally, when I first went into this, I was already wide awake and I already could see all the things that people couldn't see. So I entered it via the criminology as a criminologist. So I studied for that. And I went into criminal justice. And I found that we were prescribing for youngsters and adults for all the things I did as a child. And I can assure you I did a lot of things as a child which we deemed wrong. So I started looking at that. Then I went into mental health and I moved over to prescribing. So first with dependency and mental health, so Suboxone, Subutex, these kind of things, but you were never allowed to take people off. Once you're in the matrix, that's it. You are on prescription. So I started to learn about that. Then I moved over into therapy work, because once I distanced myself from the NHS and private companies, I could use my own name. Before that, I had to use a company name. And I've been pointing people since then, 20 odd years ago. Even when I was prescribing, I was saying to them, would you like to try this? Have you heard about that? Does this resonate with you? And changing the way they felt, even at that point. So if you were sent to me for an offence, drink drive, or drunk on high street, or you were caught doing something naughty with your girlfriend or boyfriend, they sent you someone like me. And I was a tier 3 acute servicing prescriber, not a GP. I'm not a GP, I will say that, but I am a tier 3. So I learned all sides of the same game. Gave me a massive insight. And when I could see things like, we don't want to go into too much, but what they put in a diet drink, or if planes hit towers, or, everything. And I'd say, but I saw that. And then now you're telling me I didn't see that. And then I would cascade that onto people. And at first, everyone thought I was crazy. It's all changed now, though, Nick. A lot of people are so awake. But these same people who are waking up now are a bit late in the game.
Absolutely. So what's your advice for those who feel very separated with most of their families who, of course, are asleep, I suspect, and they feel so lonely, they feel stressed, they get anxiety. What's your advice to those people?
The people who get the anxiety are the empaths. They can feel what's happening, they know what's happening, and they don't know how to help. What they've got to actually do is remember they've got to help themselves first. They have to be strong. I have an analogy that you cannot help someone out of a freezing pond if you're in with them. So you have to be on the sideline and watch, but don't push the agenda until they ask for help. Tell them, point out that you're there to help them, but remember you are the strong one. You are the person who they are going to turn to when this whole show goes the way we know it's going to go.
Absolutely. And when people wake up to the children and the trafficking, I think that's going to make a very big impact to what people believe, how they perceive the world, their mental health, and they're going to need a lot of help with that. So what's your strategy for that?
Okay, the children is going to be a massive thing because people don't want to believe it. They just don't want to believe it. And to be honest, some days I wish I didn't take the red pill. So what I say to people is talk to someone like me. If that's not what you want to do, find a group, a subculture that talks the same language. It doesn't matter if it's a stand in the park outfit or you find a group of people you can go and socialize with, like a little dance group. Find people that you can talk with because these are the communities that's going to hold up the rest of the communities when they find out that everything they thought they knew, they really didn't. And all this stuff is going to come out soon. So they have to then be in a strong position. Learn to be alone, learn to work on yourself, learn subcultures.
Eddie, can you give us an example of when someone needed therapy, one of your patients who, you took them through the journey from in the Great Awakening where they were really, really had a mental breakdown and they felt the divide from their friends and families?
Well, I've got a few. Some I can direct that who phoned me and said, Eddie, I don't know what, in a state of panic, I don't know what to do. I'm really sorry to call you, but. First, I calm them down, work out what it is they're looking for. Some people have actually left an area they lived in to move to another area where their friends were, got there and realized that all their friends are jabbed and they've got no one to talk to. And then I direct them to other groups. Other people are on conversations like this where the only sane person they're talking to, or I use that loosely, who understands what's going on is a therapist. And I don't do it from a hierarchical point of view. I am just someone you talk to. I'm just that kind of therapist. I talk to you and we deal with everything. I'll say, this is how you're feeling. Try not to take the pharmaceuticals because I'll just take the edge off. It won't help you at all. Why don't we work on just vent? A lot of people just vent. And when they're sick of venting, we get to the good stuff. And I just direct them. This is how you are. This is what's happening. Be calm. You've always got energy coming towards you. We are all in a collective. We are all connected. And then we work on that. So I've had people in dire straits I could work on the phone. People I can work on via Zoom. And those close enough, I can meet for a coffee just so they can feel that they're not going out of their minds.
And what do you say to those who've lost loved ones from, the thing that they've been taking in the jab, in their arm? What do you say to those people?
So I try not to talk about the jab causing it because they're in enough pain. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what my belief is and what, the way I'm working forward. I have to first and foremost make sure the person talking to me is 100% able to get it before we go on to that. So loss doesn't go away. We just learn how to deal with loss. That person's not coming back. If you're spiritual, you may talk to them. If you're religion, you'll go through a church to talk to them. If not, then you have to understand that these people are hurting. To tell them that actually what they did caused it won't help. So I talk about the loss. We get past the loss. We get them onto a stable foundation where they can talk about the loss, deal with their emotions. Then, if they want to talk about, they went and they had their second jab, so, right, so what do you think about that? You have to allow it to come out in conversation.
Now, we understand that there are many therapists that work under the healthcare system, in the matrix, who are trained in a certain way, and they're asleep. So, what is your message to those therapists?
I think they have to really think of what they're doing. In 2009 or something, they sent me into a unit, a prescribing unit, and I had that pinnacle moment that actually I was doing no good. If you understand the way we worked as prescribers in the NHS before, you would come to me, I would work out what's good for you, what's bad for you, what prescription you are on, what I'm going to give you, what drugs or alcohol you're taking, what your family life was, and I could build you a program. It became, you come in, hello Nick, how are you? Here's your prescription, off you go. That didn't work. So people who prescribe, who aren't therapists now, prescribers can be anyone. Private companies own all the contracts. So an ex-user will be prescribing for users. That's how bad it's become. But anyone who's nursing, prescribers, therapists, consultants, they have to understand that this is massive. And we've got to understand that a lot of these hospitals are in debt. They are pushed and pushed and pushed. I was told years ago, when I told someone about aspartame in Diet Cokes, what would happen to me, what would happen to the hospital if Coca-Cola sued them. This is what they're worried about. But it's bigger than that, Nick. It's bigger. We have got something that's going to, like you rightly said, when this all comes out and people start to die from whatever, we won't mention this, we won't get censored, and we all know what that is, they're going to be culpable. They will be taken to the cleaners, and they have a moral duty, and it's to do no harm. I'm not in that field, but the doctors and the nurses have promised to do no harm. Therapists have to have their clients' highest good when they talk to them and direct them. If you're not doing that, then you are culpable. Whatever comes next, think about it, rethink about it, do your research, look at what's in the experimentals, and just stop pushing people.
And what is your experience of learning of other therapists and people in the healthcare system who are seeing the truth and they're deciding to take the responsibility and the courage to leave their professions to do what you're doing?
Do you know how hard that really is? Because the healthcare system is a massive subculture. Once you get into it, you become part of something. So for them to do that, they are so brave, because this is their livelihood. They're going to get alienated. People are going to think they're the enemy. I think we should all get together and make places, units, hospitals, where the awake run it. And I give all credit to the nurses and doctors who stepped away and told the truth. Because at the end of the day, we have to go through the struggle, and I know money's going to be very tight. It is for everybody. But at the end of the day, it's those people that we will turn to. I have nurse friends now who are pulling their hair out because they have to give the drug. And they're now going to be asked to take the drug. And they're saying no, they're leaving. The pain they went through and they spoke to me about is immense.
Absolutely. Well, Eddie, Violette, thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute honor to have you on my show and to provide such a service to the Great Awakening viewers, of course. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
The viewers, if you need to get in touch with me, please do. It's not just for the unjabbed. There's a lot of awake jabs now. We know this, right? We're all pushing for the same agenda. We do not want that divide anymore, them and us. It's a united front. And we all need to push to save those who are going to be ill and the children, because that's the next. We have to save the children. So get in touch.
Absolutely. I will leave the link below so that if anyone wants to contact Eddie and ask any more questions or anything like that, I will leave the link below. Eddie, thank you very much. And we'll speak very soon. God bless you.
God bless you.